1 second. Somebody's in the kitchen.
Someone's in the kitchen.
I'm sipping the Truly tonight. Y'all sipping anything tonight, boys?
I'm going to be.
Water. I'm boring. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. I know I said
ask what you do for work.
I've been working with doing like video editing, so I've been staring at my computer for about 10 hours on the day.
Beating. That's such a beating, dude.
Yeah, it's not like the most strenuous like activity, but like staring directly at the computer for so long, it hurts.
It's like a brain melter.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. This is a nice way to relax, to be honest. I don't mind looking at my computer for this. So
right.
This is fine.
So you're getting into video editing?
Yeah. The NFL Draft Bible, who I'm with, they run these things called hub camps.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically just these guys who have been like out of the league for a little bit, and or who have just been undrafted free agents playing football elsewhere, like in Europe or in Canada. They have these little hub camps where they put together drills and scrimmages for players, and basically my job's just to cut up the highlights. We cut up the highlights, make a little highlight reel, send them into teams, try to get them on a practice squad.
Okay,
that's what I've been working on.
That's fun.
Yeah,
film, huh?
Yeah, my guy's like, "Are you tired of video editing yet?" And I'm like, "Not really. This is pretty simple shit, and I get to watch football all day, so that's fine. It's very good. works for me."
What are you using to edit your video?
Oh, iMovie. Very simple.
iMovie. Yeah. I kind of want to just get an iPhone just so I can do that.
It's very. I love it. It's very simple to use. You can make some good compilations with it. It's nice.
Mike, you got an iPhone, right? You got an iPhone, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, but you need an iPad. The video, where is my? If you want to do iMovie, I recommend this one over the iPhone for the memory, the RAM. It makes it run faster.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to cut up the clips on my phone. I've used iMovie on my phone, but like you said, you need more storage, and like one clip takes up like 20 GBs. So
holy cow!
I need like they gave me like a 2 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive that I have to use for it. So
I wanted to get a Apple for my laptop, but it took a shit on me a couple times. I took it back, and then Apple wouldn't finance me the right amount of time that I wanted. And so I got a Surface Pro 4, which is nice, but I know Apple real well. So it would have been easier if it was Apple and they all connected and everything, my phone and my iPad and everything.
I hear you.
All right, boys. 3, 2. How are y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. This podcast is part of the Across the Board Sports podcast family. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike the Pig Crum. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready for this. You know, all year this has been my week. This next facing the Bill Belichick mastermind, and then going into the bye week with what he shows you. This is my time right here. So I'm waiting for the game, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I know, Mike, that this was the game that I had as a trap game on the schedule, and I know that you've been excited for it all year too. So this is a big week for Cowboys Nation.
Yeah, it's a test. This is a test. Bill's a test.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, before we get into it, where can we find you on Twitter?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, here we are with episode 5 of Mike and I's series, Offsides. And to those who are new to the show, this is a series where Mike and I bring on a fan of the opposing team the Cowboys are playing that week. And this week we're playing the New England Patriots. And joining us today is writer and podcaster for NFL Draft Bible and Fan Nation, Mr. Eric Adams. Eric, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me on. Believe it or not, this is my first guest spot for podcasting. So you're busting my guest podcast cherry here tonight. I like that.
Sweet.
That's surprising, man, because I when I would listen to you on podcast, you're a real polished speaker. I always thought that you were a well-respected person kind of there on fantasy Twitter, college Twitter. So to hear you say that this is your first guest appearance, that's shocking to me.
Well, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. Glad somebody has that sentiment.
Yes, sir. And Eric, speaking of Twitter, where can we find you on Twitter?
I am at the FF_Taters, like the Tater Tots. So that is where I'm at.
Are you a tater tot or onion rings, Eric? Toughest question of the show sheet.
Tater Tot or a what?
Onion ring.
Oh, Tater Tot guy.
Nice. I'm not mad at you for that. But are you a big ranch guy with your tater tots?
I never even really thought about ranch on tater tots. That could work. I could think that could work. I'm gonna have to try that and get back to you.
What's your top condiment with the tater tots?
Probably just ketchup.
Just the ketchup and barbecue sauce.
Hey, keeping it old school, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Here in the South, if it's fried, we're eating it with ranch and we're happy.
I got you.
So Eric, let's get into it, man. Were you upset about the Stephon Gilmore trade?
I like how you worded this question because upset. Yeah, I mean, you lose a former defensive player of the year, Super Bowl hero. You had the game clinching pick in Super Bowl 53. Yeah, you're gonna feel pretty bad about getting traded. But the thing about New England, man, I've been watching this team for about 20 plus years now. Nothing surprises me anymore. nothing catches me off guard anymore. In fact, after the Bucs game, I remember saying, I was like, wow, the secondary played pretty well in that game. We don't even have Gilmore yet. And then it kind of came to me that the writing was on the wall there. I figured that Gilmore's probably not playing another snap. Fast forward to Tuesday, he's released, and then we pulled him back and traded him for a 6th-round pick. I thought the writing was on the wall for that. So upset, yeah, but surprised, no, not at all.
Hey, when you have a guy like J.C. Jackson, your secondary is going to be pretty good, right?
That is true. JC's balling. That's for
sure.
Sure.
Is JC signed or is he still 1 year?
1 year, and I believe I don't know if he's an unrestricted after this year, but if I had to guess, he's probably not going anywhere. Probably going to get either franchised or a long-term deal after this season. He deserves it. He's coming into his own for sure.
Agreed. He's a beast. Coach Belichick, he's notorious for taking away a team's best player, best weapon, right? So who do you think that he's going to target on Dallas as that guy that has to be taken away?
Well, I definitely agree that he takes away the best player, but the problem with this game is when you got players like Dallas has on offense, it's kind of difficult to choose which one's the best player. You got Lamb, you got Cooper, Schultz playing really well. Honestly, I think the best player on their offense playing right now, outside of Dak, obviously, is Zeke. And I think it's easier said than done to just fully take away a running back like that, especially with the way our rush defense has been playing. I don't think it's been playing that great or up to par yet. If I had to guess, I think they'll probably target Cooper. I think Lamb's been a little more sporadic this year. They'll probably live with. I'm hoping Jalen Mills plays, because if Jalen Mills doesn't play, let me tell you right now, guys, yeah, somebody's going to eat on that offense. Somebody's going to be wide open because Jawan Williams is going to cover him, and Jawan Williams is terrible. So if Mills plays, it'll be the up to snuff defense that you're expecting from us. If Mills does not play, it's going to get ugly. They're just going to be able to throw all day. But I'll say Cooper. I think he's going to try to take away Cooper.
Well, let's just say Belichick decides to kind of flip the script, and he wants to take away our best defensive player. Could you see Belichick trying to keep Mac Jones from avoiding Trayvon Diggs?
I hope Mac is smart enough to understand the type of year Trayvon Diggs is having. And I think he is. I think he definitely understands that. Look, whenever a guy's playing that well on defense, usually he's blanketing a guy. It's not like you can really just completely go away from him. If the play calls to go at him, you got to go at him. But I'm hoping Mac trends to stay away from that side of the field. I don't know who Diggs is going to cover, to be honest. Did he follow Tony the whole game last week?
He was on Galladay at first, and when Galladay went out with his knee injury, then he switched over to Tony.
All right. Yeah. So I'd imagine he's probably going to end up being on Jacoby Myers. I don't know if he'll travel with him. They might just lock him down on the side of the field, but I'd imagine Myers is the guy he's going to go after. And that's the case. I mean, Myers is really kind of the safety blanket for for Mac in terms of who the wide receiver is. So we'll see. I hope Mac does avoid Trayvon Diggs because I know does he have a pick in every game this season?
And
Yes.
2-1. He has 6 in
Yes.
5 games.
Jesus, Mac's been pretty good protecting the ball, but that's frightening. That's frightening to think about.
Let me ask you. So thinking about both sides of the ball, right? You've got your strength, the New England defense, against Dallas's strength, the offense, or New England's weaker point, their offense, against Dallas's weaker point, their defense. Which one are you more comfortable with New England winning, do you think?
That's a fantastic question because I don't think their defense. I think their defense has put together some really solid games so far, but I don't think it's played up to its potential just yet. I still think we're getting there. In terms of the offense, I think the offense is coming along and they're starting to gain an identity, but they don't have it yet. Which one I'm more confident and comfortable with? I'm really not comfortable going against this offense. I think Dallas is one of the most unstoppable offenses in the league right now. I think they're one of 3 or 4 that are just. I don't really know how to defend that. The way we defended Tampa Bay doesn't have a running game. You know, we allowed them to do whatever they want on the ground. We'll let you beat us like that. If we let Dallas do that, Zeke's going to have 200 yards. So. I'm gonna surprisingly say the offense. Mac has been operating the offense pretty well so far, especially for a rookie. I know Diggs is a really good player. I know Randy Gregory's having a hell of a year. I know you guys have some real studs developing on the defense. I think what you're doing with Parsons is awesome. But I definitely think we'll be able to move the ball. So I guess I'll be more comfortable with the offense just because that Dallas offense is frightening right now. So,
Kind of sticking with the offense here, Dallas kind of has a pick your poison type of offense. But when you look at the Patriots, who, in your opinion, is the top weapon on the offense?
I was gonna say Jacoby Myers when I first looked at the show sheet here, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the chemistry that Hunter Henry and Mac are developing right now, Hunter Henry's the guy. He's starting to really come along. He's probably their best receiver at the moment. I don't know if you guys will choose to cover him with a linebacker or a safety. Whoever it is, that would be the focal point for me for the Dallas defense. If you take away Hunter Henry, I think they're going to struggle. I think we'll have a tough day.
He terrifies me. Hunter Henry, we're not doing good. Oh, we're not great against tight ends and running backs, and he's terrifying.
He is a very good player. He is a very, very good player.
On the offensive side, how come you guys? Why do you think it's so difficult for some players, like even veterans who have been around a long time, to pick up this New England offense?
Man, if I had the answer to that question, I do not understand why some people come in to this offense and it can click. Brandon Lloyd, for example, I thought Brandon Lloyd just came in, he picked it up like that. I thought Brandon LaFell did a good job picking it up. And then you got some guys who they'll spend 4 years, 5 years over a contract trying to figure it out, and they have no clue. They have no clue what to do. They ask a lot of their wide receivers. It's just a difficult offense, man. I don't have the answer for that. I wish I knew. I really wish I knew.
A follow-up question to that. With the lack of success in the past by veteran and rookie wide receivers, do you think it's time to maybe consider a change at offensive coordinator?
I don't want to pile on Josh too much. I feel like Josh is the most critiqued coach possibly in the in the league every week with us New England fans. He's doing at least 3 to 5 plays where we're like, Josh, what in the world was that play? You're gonna see us do a toss play this weekend that goes for like -3 yards, and it might happen like 3 or 4 times. That's the play I'm talking about. With that said, I know, especially with it being a difficult offense to learn, I know they've said in the past, we're trying to simplify it a little bit more, and that's great and all, but they've had enough to success to the point where I do give Josh the benefit of the doubt. When he's in his bag, man, and he can dial up one of the more impressive trick plays you'll ever see. We usually dial up at least 2 to 3 a game that make you go, wow, that was pretty impressive. So I don't think it's time to consider a change at offense coordinator. But with that said, I would love for somebody to come and hire him as a head coach, because I do not want him to be the guy who replaces Belichick. That's just not what I want. Definitely don't want him being the heir apparent. If it is, well, then I'm gonna turn into you guys see Rob Lowe with that NFL hat at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me if Josh McDaniels becomes the head coach of the Patriots. I'm just gonna root for the good old NFL then.
Oh man, the excuse me. Through 5 games, you've seen Mac Jones now play against some different teams, home, away, everything. Give us kind of a breakdown. What do you like from Mac Jones so far? What do you think he needs to improve on the most?
What I like the most about Mac is he does the little things that other rookie quarterbacks are not doing. He does the little things really well. And it's funny because you go on Twitter, you try to read comments on any tweet that shows a statistic that makes Mac look good. I know that people drum up the completion percentage, and people will be like, oh, well, he's just check down Charlie. He's just throwing flats and screen passes, and that's why it's all that high. I'll tell you right now, Zach Wilson would have been not as laughed at as much if he learned to throw a check down every once in a while. I think Mac just does little things like that really well. I think he moves in the pocket pretty well too. And I'm not talking like running wise. I'm talking sliding in the pocket, avoiding pressure, buying time for himself. I think he's very polished for a rookie quarterback. And I appreciate seeing that. In terms of what he has to improve on, I think this really can go for any rookie quarterback. He has to understand when a window is going to close. He'll likely try to fit a ball into a window that would be not closed in college, and in the NFL, it closes a lot quicker. So that's one thing I would like for him to improve on. But he's been very impressive. You'll see it on Sunday. He plays quarterback well. Like, he has us Patriots fans feeling pretty good.
Trayvon Diggs likes that window thing.
Yeah, I hope he knows the normal window closes quickly, and with Trayvon Diggs, it closes twice as fast. So I hope Mac understands that.
Yeah, you look at the Patriots coaching staff, and you have the pieces there to be successful. We know the success that they've had, and you're talking about Mac and how he's kind of a bit more polished than your typical rookie wide receiver, and we know the success that the defense is having this year, kind of being the backbone of the team. But when you look at the offense, do the Patriots have the players on the offense to make the playoffs this year?
I definitely think they do have the players on offense to make the playoffs. I think they'll be in the hunt for the wild card. They're not catching Buffalo. Buffalo's the best team in the AFC right now. Buffalo might be the best team in the NFL right now. But I definitely think they can push for, it's 7. There's 7 playoff teams. I think by December rolls around, I think we could look at them as one of the better 7 teams in the AFC. Do I think they'll make it to the playoffs? Probably not. They'll probably be one of the first eliminated, or one of the last eliminated, I guess. But as in terms of do they have the players to make it on offense, I definitely think they do. I like their players on offense. I think Kendrick Bourne has been a great signing. I think Jacoby Myers is a good wide receiver. What needs to happen on offense? Their offensive line needs to come to play. Their offensive line has been terrible 4 out of 5 games. And oddly enough, the one game they weren't terrible was last week when they were missing 4 starters. So I don't know what's up with the offensive line. The moment the offensive line starts playing well, that's when I think the offense will really perform up to expectation.
I have a little side question because in New England, you've been so used to like Super Bowl or bust, basically. Did you go into this year like, oh yeah, we could win if things broke, or was it kind of like, okay, we got a rookie going now, Mac Jones, we got it. We're not that we can't compete, but we are kind of in a rebuild. We're not going for a Super Bowl right now this year.
The wise Patriots fans that I talk to understand that we're in a rookie quarterback season and we're about a year away. I think the main thing we want to take away from this season, and it's looking pretty good at this right now. The main thing we want to take away right now is that we know that Mac can be the guy going forward. I don't want to sit in QB hell for the next 10 years. All right. Ask the Jets how hard it is to find a quarterback. Ask the Bears how hard it was to find a quarterback before Justin Fields. I don't want to go through that. So we just wanted to know that Mac can be the guy going forward. And I think we're close to having the answer to that question. He's been very good.
All right, that helps the next question. I wanted to know that because it's harder in New England because you guys win so much. But now that I know that you're kind of like, well, we're not going to be getting a Super Bowl this year, would beating Brady have been like all right, this season was a success? Knowing Mac Jones is Mac Jones. The other thing is we beat Brady.
I wanted that game so bad. I wanted that game so bad, man. I'm glad. I'm proud of the way they played. If they had gotten, I saw so many people. They're like, "Oh, the Patriots are terrible. They're gonna lose by like 21." And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, if we win this game, I'm gonna pull the receipts, and it's gonna get ugly on Twitter. I don't know if I could. I can't look at a season as a success if we just beat that one team, even if it is Tom and the Bucks. If we went 1-16, I'm not looking at that season as a success. That'd be pretty bad. But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, we wanted that one bad. We wanted that one bad. It stung, but at least they played well.
Now, speaking of Brady, what was it like watching him win a Super Bowl with a different team?
Let me tell you a little story here. This is my favorite question on the sheet. I'm not one of those Patriots fans that's like groaning about, oh man, what are we doing? Why is he gone? Well, it's terrible. I'm glad Tom left. Like, our team was awful last year. Our team was bottom 5 in the league in terms of talent. All right. The fact that we went 7-9 last year is a testament to what Bill Belichick can do with the team. I want Tom to win as many Super Bowls as possible here. And in the 20 years that I've watched this team with Tom on it, nobody ever went, oh, well, Belichick just has great players. He's just a system coach or whatever. You know what I had to listen to for 20 years? Tom Brady is a system QB, a dink and dunk quarterback. His arm's not that great. Here's what he can't do that Rodgers and Mahomes and all those other guys can do. I had to listen to that for 20 years. So when he won the Super Bowl last year, I looked at every single person that told me that he's a system quarterback, and I'm like, serves you right. I hope you understand how stupid that sentiment is, because that is the GOAT right there. That is the greatest football player of all time, and there's no doubting it now. So I was very happy to see Tom win that Super Bowl. It also helps that they were facing the Chiefs, because I had some people, they're like, oh, who you rooting for in the Super Bowl? I'm like, the Chiefs are the team that are trying to take down what we built. I don't want the Chiefs to win. I definitely want to see the guy who won 6 Super Bowls with us win another one. So there's no ill will towards Brady.
Were you happy with the choice of Belichick over Brady, though?
Yes, Belichick builds the team. Belichick builds the team. He can build towards the future. He can, regardless of what people seem to think about his roster management and GM skills. I think Bill's a pretty decent GM. I think he finds a lot of diamonds in the rough. He works with what he can work with. They usually don't have a high draft pick. We'll see how that works out this year. But Bill builds the team. Tom would have been a 43-year-old quarterback, and as funny as the jokes are that he might play till 50, and those are starting to look like they're not jokes. It was time. It was definitely time to move on. I'd rather keep Belichick and try to build the roster.
Great answer.
Now, what is your favorite Tom Brady memory?
Probably Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl 49 was the turning point. And I'm about to make it for everyone who listens to this podcast, and probably you guys too. Probably going to make a lot of people hate me for what I'm about to say. 10 years, man, going 10 years without a Super Bowl like that weighed on us quite a bit. It was bad. He had 3 really quickly, and we're like, oh man, he could really be the best quarterback of all time. And we have those 2 terrible Super Bowl losses. I'm very sorry, you guys being Cowboys fans. We allowed the Giants to get those 2. Not great.
And Eagles.
And oh my God, I completely. We don't talk about that one. They sold their soul to the devil to win that Super Bowl. That's neither here nor there. But Super Bowl 49, winning that one. It's funny that I say Super Bowl 49 because the best memory wasn't even Tom on the field. It was Malcolm Butler picking it. But that game's my best Tom Brady memory because everything after that was icing on the cake. That game made him the GOAT. So I'll say 49.
And that was the they didn't give it to Marshawn Lynch at the 1-yard line one. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's what I thought. I was making sure.
Thank you, Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I think you guys might have potentially ruined the dynasty with that victory there too.
What?
You guys, I think, might have ruined the dynasty with that win.
I think we ruined the Seahawks dynasty. I think we ruined the Eagles dynasty because they thought they would win a couple. I think we're doing a pretty good job of ruining the Chiefs dynasty. At least Tom is. We've ruined a couple dynasties over the years. So that's fun. That's nice to think about.
All right, Eric. So
hopefully today you can or Sunday you can start us building towards our dynasty.
Hey man, I love Dak. I would like to see it. I really am a Dak fan. Can I ask you guys a question before we get to the next question?
Of course.
Yeah. What was the deal with all these Cowboys fans who don't like Dak Prescott over the years? I don't know if you guys were with them, but I feel like Dak's biggest detractors were Cowboys fans. I don't understand that.
Absolutely right. What's reason 1, Paul? There's 2 reasons. What's the first one?
Because he replaced Romo.
Correct. The first one is because he replaced Romo. The other one is a little bit more sensitive and a little bit towards the he isn't the same as Danny White. Emphasis on last name.
I get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
The first one especially, I know, yeah, you guys worship Romo. I get that. But
I don't get it. I love Romo. I love Tony Romo. I do not hate Dak because I love Tony Romo.
Yeah, it has never made sense. That argument has never made sense to me.
It blows my mind, and it is an absolute fact. People, they fight. I mean, they'll take wins over Dak. They Andy Dalton, you name it. You name the guy. There's a guy. We call him Eric Roths because there's a guy on Twitter named Eric Roth, and I swear to God, he's named every single young quarterback that was going to be better than Dak and just jinxed them. Josh Rosen, Drew Lock. You can go down Teddy Bridgewater. Any young quarterback that had a chance of being good, he would say he's going to be better. Why would they want Dak? They have that guy, and the guy would be trash or on a different team within 2 seasons. It blows my mind.
Eric, I spent a lot of nights fighting Dak to the death, saying that he's a franchise quarterback, and it got to a point to where I could never have an intelligent conversation with anybody because it always resorted to being called names and everything. And again, this is with other so-called Cowboys fans that I just decided to retire from the Dak as a good quarterback debate. And it's just been quite a awesome, I guess you could say, story to see unfold, as the years have passed.
I appreciate. I'm glad you guys have some reason, man. I've seen those debates. I'm like, this guy is incredible. This guy's a top 5 quarterback in the league, and you're really just trying to throw all these other schmoes at me with this. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. The moment Romo got hurt in the preseason, I'm like, Dak's never given this job back. This guy is incredible. And what should have been the tipping point? You won a playoff game in his first season. It took Romo won 1 playoff game, right?
Yeah, I think he won 1, maybe 2. He beat Detroit, right? Yeah,
he beat Detroit and he beat Philly one year.
All right. So Dak gets halfway there in 1 year, and Cowboys fans are still holding on. I get it. Like I like Romo too, but come on, like I would have been so quickly onto the Dak train.
But you know what's sad is that when Romo was quarterback, people hated Romo because of the turnovers and all the late game
Swear to
stuff.
God.
People hated Romo too. It never made
Turnover
sense.
Tony.
Yes.
Tony. Tony turnover Tony.
Tony Cabo.
Yeah, Tony Cabo. God, like that. It's sometimes the thing about it, Eric, is, and you know this a lot too, because you've won a lot, maybe not to the extent of Dallas, but the Patriots fan base, when you win, it gets really big. When you have a fan base that large, like Cowboys fans are everywhere. And when you have one that large, you're just going to have a segment that's nuts. And you just got to hit the mute button.
I 100% understand that. 100% understand that. Luckily, probably at least a third of our fan base went down to Tampa Bay, so that's good.
Yeah,
at least those ones left. So
I'd like to ask you, the year that Brady went down week 1 towards ACL and Matt Castle came in and went 11-5, were there Patriots fans saying, hey, we should get rid of Tom Brady, trade Tom Brady and stick with Castle, trying to say that he's a cheaper contract, the system and everything?
I'm sure there were people that definitely broached the subject. Unfortunately, I don't even know if Twitter was a thing right back then. I wasn't on Twitter at that point.
Right. I mean, neither.
If Twitter was a thing, that would have been a dumpster fire argument. Let me tell you right now, that would have been real bad. I probably would have logged on to Twitter and then logged off forever. If that might have been
the grossest. That might be the grossest conversation ever. If somebody tried to convince you to go Matt Castle cheap.
It's funny that you bring it up because after all, like I used to be like, man, that was such a great season going 11-5 after thinking it was done in week 1. It really wasn't that great when you realize we went from a 16-0 team to an 11-5 team. That's a 5-win difference with Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. If Tom Brady plays that year, they're probably like 13-3, 14-2. It's definitely a step back. So I'm glad we held on to Brady. I think that was the correct decision.
Yeah, it might have been a smart move. Well, there have been, dude, Bart Scott's still on TV after he said they should have Teddy Bridgewater over Dak. So somebody would have been on saying, yeah, man, Matt Castle, he could do it. Oh, God, shoot me in the head.
I don't know why Bart Scott and Rex Ryan have jobs with ESPN. I do know why they have jobs with ESPN. Their ESPN's kind of trash, but I despise those two guys. And I really do not admire their opinions. Sorry if they listen to this podcast. I don't know if they do. Who knows?
Shout out Bart Scott.
They would already hate us. I am a Coach Ryan fan because I love the Ryan family. But as an analyst, Bart Scott and Rex Ryan, nah, dude, not good.
I like Rex when he talks about anything not involving the Patriots because he has such a vendetta against Belichick.
Of course, he hates
such a vendetta against him.
Well, Eric, as we're getting close to wrapping things up, well, what's your score prediction for this week's game?
Whew. All right, like I said, man, if we get some of these injured guys back and we can play up to potential, I think we can. I think we can keep it close, and I'll say my score prediction is 27-20. If some of these guys don't play and we play like we did against the Saints and against Houston, your guys are going to blow us out by 2 touchdowns. I'll say 27-20 though. I think we'll show up. I think we understand the magnitude of the game. This is a very good team coming in. I think we'll get up for it.
Mike,
no,
how
I'm
about you?
I'm saying 27-20 Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't think we'll win. I think you guys are cut above right now. If this was later in the season, I would feel better about our chances because the Patriots really build towards the end of the season and get better as we go along here. Being week 6, mid-October, we're not where we need to be just yet.
Mike, how about you?
I have it. I have a respect for Bill Belichick, Eric, that probably rivals yours. I love great coaches. It's my favorite thing about sports is great coaches. And I think he's going to come out and do something that is just going to baffle us for a little bit. It just is. And our defense isn't elite enough to where I'm like, well, they're going to shut down whatever. So I think the game is going to be closer than I think like people that just look at it Madden overall wise instead of thinking about strategy and like we're not great against tight ends and running backs. Well, what do you guys throw to the best? Tight ends and running backs. So I think there's going to be stuff that give us trouble. I think it's going to be a lot of field goal games. I do think Dallas wins in the end. They get a score at the end to kind of pull away. I have it 26-16 Dallas, but I think it's going to be real close till maybe the start to the middle of the fourth quarter, and then Dallas will kind of put it away.
Yeah, this game is one that I think could really kind of humble the Cowboys and send us into the bye week. Thinking about a lot of things. That being said, I think it's going to be a bit of a low scoring affair. So I'm gonna go 21-10 Dallas.
I like that, Eric. I've said this on the podcast many times. Paul knows it. We talk about it after. I normally am a bye week around week 10 to 13 guy, but this is my favorite bye week I've ever had because being able to see what Bill Belichick is going to do to us. And then instead of the next team getting it and going, okay, look how we can stop them. Look what they did. Let's copy that. We're going to get a full bye week to go in and go, look what this smartass did and how friggin' brilliant he is. Now, how do we stop other teams from doing this and catching us with this? So I love this bye week because it's like going into this master teacher's like thing who gives you a lesson for free. You hope you get the win out of it still, but you're going to get this free lesson going into the bye week to go, the smartest guy in the world tried to stop us like this. How do we counteract that? This is my favorite week of the season for Dallas.
That's a very, very good point. That is a very, very smart way to look at that. We'll put something on tape about how you could attack Dallas. And like you said, they can improve upon that. Try to get better during the bye week. That's a very good point.
Because Mike Zimmer's coming up next. And Mike Zimmer's a damn smart coach too, and he's going to watch that film. Now you got a week to go. Here's how we counter it. I love it.
And what's going to happen is if we were to lose, Dak's not going to have a bye week. He's going to watch film and be like, okay, this is what they did. This is how I can beat it. Him and Kellen, Dan, it's not going to be an off week for anybody.
Yeah. I almost picked against Dallas. The reason I didn't is because I think it's going to motivate them that they haven't beaten them since like Jerry Jones been the owner. I don't think Jerry Jones has ever beaten. Oh yeah, 96 he did. He's never beat them in New England though. Jerry Jones has never won a game there as an owner. It was 1986 or something last time they did it, and Jerry Jones bought the team in 89. So I think that's going to be motivating. Like Dak wants to win one in New England. It's like another notch, prove yourself.
This might sound strange, but if we were to lose a game, I imagine we'll lose more than just one. But if we were to lose one, I think I'd want it to be this week,
Yeah, you never get. It's Belichick. He is the best. Like he said, Tom Brady is the best. So's Bill Belichick. They're amazing.
I'm kind of curious, Eric. I mean, if the Patriots were to beat the Cowboys as hot as we are, I mean, that could kind of get you guys over the hump and help you guys figure some things out too, no?
Our fan base, and I'm sure the Patriots inside that building, definitely understand the level of competition, the level of talent coming in right now. It really could be a building block game. It could be a game that goes a long way towards showing that they have something going in the right direction here. So that is kind of what I'm holding on to here. I don't know if that's fortune cookie wisdom or not, but I definitely see a really good football team right now. I don't think you can make an argument nobody's as hot as Dallas right now. So and with the way we played last week as well, we usually have a pretty decent bounce back effort when we play like crap. So I think we'll be able to come to play this week. I really hope so. Because that Saints game, the way they played against Houston, if that's what shows up this week, man, y'all could probably hang 40 on us. So I hope they bring the effort for sure.
Eric, you mentioned fortune cookie and pre-roll. We were talking about how you like to bake as a hobby. Is there a, if when the Patriots win a good game, is there like a certain cookie you like to make to celebrate?
Oof. That has not been a thing, but I think I will. I think I will take that into consideration now. I think I am going to start baking if they win a game. I don't have a particular cookie to make, but I'll have to look up what cookies are popular in New England. I don't know. I live in New England. I should probably know that. So I'll look up what cookie is most popular in New England, and maybe learn how to make that. That's a good point.
What would you say is your specialty?
Specialty. I have a great sugar cookie recipe, and you can do so much with that. Like I make Italian ricotta cookies, and I know how to make the glaze, and I put that on everything now. Like I could put it on the sugar cookies, add some sprinkles, get really creative with it. I have this recipe for like Norwegian butter cookies is what they're called, and they're basically just like sugar cookie bars. Just put a bunch of sprinkles on those. But yeah, well now I'm hungry, so that's good.
Me too. Me too.
Sugar cookies, my little sister's favorite. All right, Eric. While we're getting you out of here, just let the people know where we can find any of your articles, podcast, and/or YouTube channels.
All right. Articles can be found on si.com/NFL/draft. And my podcast, The Dynasty Draft Room, can be found on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcast under the NFL Draft Bible Podcast Network, powered by Fan Nation and Sports Illustrated. Yeah, give us a review, give us a listen. We got some fun stuff going on over there.
And remind the people where they can find you on Twitter, sir.
At the FF_Taters, like the potato.
Mike, let the people know where we can find you on Twitter, sir.
Just so you know, Eric, I listened to the Draft Bible. I'm subscribed to it on my Apple podcast. And I know the voice now, but it was funny that I was like, man, Draft Bible. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, should I listen to that podcast all the time? So, yeah, you guys, I've been able to write a lot on Cowboys Wire, stealing a little bit of your information. So I appreciate it.
That's what we're there for. That's what we're there for.
That's great. At CD Piglet, guys. Letter C, letter D Piglet. Nice and easy.
Guys, again, I am Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.